This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. My name is Ruben Mpima Chivirango, and I'm so blessed and glad to be here this morning. Yesterday it was a bit cold. Today it's a bit sunny outside. So there's no carrying raincoats, jackets, and umbrellas. You can move out of the house. And those who are still at home, I have special guests in studio. This time it's all about cricket. And with me in the studio, I have the coach. That's Jackson Ogwang, who is the cricket coach, the cricket cranes coach. Then I also have the captain. That's Brian Masaba, the man from the east, the far east, that is Mountain Elgon. We'll be discussing cricket, and of course the interim coach, that's Mr. Jackson Ogwang, will be telling us the experience, how is feeling, how he's ready to is he ready to take over as the permanent coach, or is just an interim who's going to leave and somebody else comes in. Anyway, I'm in the company of the two gentlemen, and indeed I will start with the coach. Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
I'm happy to be here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
I love your size. Your size is basketball size, not cricket size. Eh?
I'm from the north. This is how we grow up.
Brian Masava, how are you? How have you been?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Happy to be here this morning. I believe it's my first time in UBC studios. So
okay.
Very excited to be here.
That's very good. Me, I love the way you've dressed. You got the colors of Uganda, red, yellow, black, and the same applies to the coach. But let me go straight to the coach. I'll start with you, the coach of the cricket national team, the interim coach. Okay, not the coach, but the interim coach. How has it been since you took over the job?
Oh, it's been good. I'm working with a group of boys that I've been with for close to 7 years.
Okay.
They have been very supportive to me since I started working with them, and it's been a great experience. Moving from the assistant coach role to the interim head coach role. Of course, it has come with a lot of responsibilities and beautiful challenges that, that we are taking on positively.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when you're coach, you take all the blame. They throw at you everything. Once the team loses, when it wins, nobody talks about you. So, as the interim coach, there are players who are loyal to the former coach. But I should say there are those who love the former coach, who would say, "What is he going to tell us?" So, if you ever find such in your camp, players having camps for the former coach, then those who believe in you, how do you handle that as a coach?
No, the most important thing is trying to bring stability in the team and make sure everyone on the team is preaching the same thing, because we have the same goal and we're all fighting for the same goal, that is World Cup qualification. Yeah. So the most important thing as a coach is for me to just bring the whole team together and make sure we're all moving in the same direction.
Okay. Brian, now as a captain of the team, I'm going to also be a bit tough on you because leading a group of players is not easy. There are those who are big-headed, there are those who are not, and there are those who don't give in 100%. So let's look at the World Cup qualifiers that you have been part of since 2014. Have you ever had a rebellion on the pitch from your fellow players or teammates?
Yeah, well, I've been part of the team for a long time now, so you understand how the team works, the inner workings of the team, and a big part of being the captain is more about man management. Okay. So you need to understand your players. You need to know which ones need the tough word and which ones need the hand around the shoulder. So after working with them for some time, you get to understand them. You get to know what makes them tick, what drives who, and you deal with each one accordingly. Okay,
Coach. There are preparations coming up. We have the qualifiers that are coming up, and I'm pretty sure that you're responsible for preparing our team to compete on that at that level internationally. So how have you prepared the cricket team for the qualifiers?
Yeah, nothing has changed much from what we have been doing since Mahatane left. It's something we have worked on for the past 3 years when he was around, and it's just because I'm around for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I would not change much from whatever we have been putting together with him. So the preparations have gone well. And the good thing, I'm working with a group of elite athletes who are really responsible for their skills, and they know what is ahead of them. So it's not been a very, very big issue. We've just putting a few things together in terms of our tactics and working on a few combinations going into the tournament.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one. But of course, coach, sometimes you set targets for the tournament or for a qualifier per se. If let's assume that you were a football coach, you are in a group where there's big footballing teams, you have to prepare your players. So my question here is, preparations are put aside. There are players who are not mentally ready for the game. So as a coach, would you ever sit in your office and say, Brian might be my captain, but we are playing against Namibia. I don't think he's mentally ready for this game. I need to make a big decision. So in that situation, do you call Brian to your office and tell him, or you just drop him on the match day and say, Brian, you're not playing, I'm playing Ruben? How do you handle that?
No, it's definitely a matter of discussion between me and the player. You find the root cause of whatever is making them not fine. But if we head for a tournament, for example, I am very sure that the 14 players I've taken on tour, and the 11 I select on every match day are mentally and physically ready to go and take on the challenge.
Okay.
So in case of anything, when we're at the tournament, that is something that we can handle, and it's a discussion that we have between me and the player. If they feel that their mental state would not allow them to go and give the team 110%, then we go with the player who is ready, the player who is ready to give, because out of the 14, all of them go out there with a big task, and they know what is ahead of them. So they should all be at that right state of mind at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Masaba, as a captain of the team, what does it mean to you as a player? Do you feel like leading out a team, a national team, on a big event? To me, it means a lot. So what comes to your mind as you lead the team out of we call it a tunnel in football, out of that tunnel to the pitch? So how do you feel when you're leading a team, the national team, into a game?
Ruben, I'll tell you, it's, I think, the best feeling in the whole world, because, like you said, you're not just leading a team, you're leading your country out there.
Yeah, true.
So it's a big pride, it's a big honor, and it's something you can't take for granted, because, you know, not everyone gets to do it. So, you know, I always look at it as, you know, the greatest pride one can have, because you're leading 46 million people, not just your team, but 46 million other people onto that pitch. You know, you have your whole country behind you, supporting you and hoping you do well. So you want to go out there and give everything you have on the pitch, and, you know, lead the team, because they look up to you on the field for direction, and they look up to you for, you know, that inspirational performance. You know, so you're not just a captain, but you also need to put in the performances which can, you know, inspire your team to do well as well.
Okay, as a captain of the team, how do you rate it? I mean, we want to play two tournaments: the qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, and then the Africa Cup. So how do you rate your team? Do you think your team can go and do wonders in tournaments?
Yeah, absolutely. I have 110% belief in this team. I know how hard we have worked for this. You know, this qualifier we didn't know about it yesterday. This is a plan that has been in the making for the last 3 years. We always wanted to play at the 2024 T20 World Cup. So, you know, the boys have been putting in the work. It's been a very long process. And, you know, our time has finally come. So it's up to us to go out there and get the job done.
Yeah.
We are physically fit.
Okay.
We can handle 2 tournaments back to back. It's not the first time we've done it. We just came from Kigali, where we played 12 games in a row. You know, and the boys came out fine. So, you know, in terms of physical fitness and mental fitness, we're prepared. and it's about showing up on the day and getting the job done.
Okay, that's a good. I love the confidence. I hope that you don't just speak, but you implement what you say. You know, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, true.
Captains come and promise fireworks. When you go to the pitch, they don't perform. Let me go to you, Coach Jackson Ogwang. We have two tournaments coming up, important tournaments coming up, and you as the interim coach, there's a lot on your shoulder that you are carrying. So as you lead the team as a coach, what are your expectations from these boys?
Oh, like my captain has mentioned there, we have prepared for the last 3 years with the aim of going to the West Indies for the T20 World Cup, and whatever dream I keep selling out to the players on a daily basis is we have to go out there and make sure we come out on top, and that is what is at the back of their minds. They know that it's not going to be easy, but it is definitely something that is achievable, and we're going to give it 110%.
Okay.
Physically, mentally, we are ready, and we've played a couple of internal games. We have a chance to try out our combinations and how ready we are in Zimbabwe starting next week. So by the time we get to Namibia, we'll be very ready for that tournament.
That's very good. Still with you, Coach. Ruben might not be a good player, but he has some money to give the coach to give him a chance to play for the cricket Cranes. So, have you ever gotten a chance, put in a situation where there is a Brian Masaba who is so fantastic in terms of playing cricket. Then there's a Ruben Mpima who uses money to be on the team. How do you handle such? How do you balance up? Do you have such players on your team?
No, I've never encountered such. And
so how do you choose your starting team? You based on merit?
No, based on who is giving the best,
Okay.
who has been performing, who has the runs in the internal games in the league, and who is mentally ready to go and represent the nation.
Okay.
Yeah, but things like money and all that, no, it's it's something we definitely would not tolerate.
Okay, Captain Brian, but I want you to tell us, you know, I recently watched a World Cup final in rugby, and I was so impressed by the South African captain, Siya Kolisi. He laid out a team. He talked to the boys and told them, this is Africa. We are here. Our president is in the stands. Africa is watching us. We must defend the title and bring it back home. In December, you must defend the title. How ready are your boys?
Absolutely 100% ready. Like you've said, you know, you have to be an inspirational captain, like Siya Kolisi did for South Africa. You have to be the kind of guy that people want to follow.
Yep.
You know, not just because you've been appointed as captain, but people need to see your attitude on the field, the things you do, the things you say. You know, and they want to be able to follow that. So I believe the boys are ready. They know how big it is. I mean, we were very happy when we won the title last year.
Yeah.
The inaugural tournament that we came out champions, and we know the feeling it gave us. So we want to go out there and do that again. It's something that we speak about every day to remind the guys, you know, what we're looking at and what we're trying to achieve.
Okay.
We don't want to just be a good team. We want to be a great team that people will remember for a long time.
Okay.
And I think the performances the team has put in over the last 3 years has put Ugandan cricket on the map, and we want to continue doing that.
Okay, a good one. Still with you, Captain. You mentioned about Siya Kolisi, the man came from a ghetto in South Africa, and it was a disease. I've followed him for the last, I think, 15 years, and I'm so impressed by how he captains the South African team. Now, back to you as a captain. But there are players you look up to in cricket. The coach did mention about the West Indies, the T20 World Cup. So, if you ever got a chance to play in a cricket World Cup, which teams do you look at and say, I want to be like him? He plays well. He does this. His bowling is this and that. So, which is that player that you look up to internationally?
Internationally. For me, there's a guy called Ken Williamson from New Zealand. I'm a big fan of New Zealand cricket because they are a small country, but they've been able to do so much with their limited resources. And, you know, coming from a Ugandan background, it resonates with me because you know how sport is in Uganda. It's not the easiest. You don't always get the support you need. So, but you know, the guys we go out there and do the most that we can with the little that we get.
Yeah.
So for me, a country like New Zealand is a big inspiration. and Ken Williamson, because he's able to do so much with the limited resources he has. And you know, they played in the World Cup final in 2019, and at this World Cup they're on course to be in the semi-finals as well. So you know, for me, a team like that is a team that you can look up to, and you know, borrow something from them and try to apply it in our setting as well. You see how you can maximize the limited resources you have to gain the maximum advantage.
Okay, in other sports, there are countries that participate and they will never win a tournament. They just come, participate, go back home. So are you a participating country?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, you know, cricket is a very mental game. A big part of the game is played in the mind. They say 90% of it is in your mind. Okay. And we've spent a lot of time trying to get that part right. In the past, we were, you know, very athletic in the field, very physically fit, but we were not very strong mentally. When it would come to the crunch moments, we would fold. So, you know, over the last 3 years with the high performance program that Uganda Cricket Association put in place, they focused a big part on the mental side of the game. They got a professional psychologist on board, you know, tried to professionalize the setup to make sure that we're not just dealing with the physical side, but you know, we're building the mental strength of the boys as well. So that, you know, when that crunch moment comes, when we're in a World Cup final, we don't, you know, we don't walk into it as underdogs. We're looking to go out there and win. And like Coach Jackson had mentioned, we're not going to Namibia to participate because we're going out there to try and qualify for the World Cup. True. That is our ultimate goal. Okay.
Coach Jackson, the captain seems to be praising you so much because you maintained him as your captain. But I know one day you're going to drop him because of low standards in case he loses form. But anyway, Mama Jackson, I want you to tell us. I mean, I mentioned about now focusing on the intelligence of the play of the game. I saw New Zealand in the World Cup final. South Africans are big and bold. New Zealand have the World Rugby team has the All Blacks have smaller men, but you could not break them down. Now, you as the coach, do you go for the physique or you go for the brains?
No, the captain has just mentioned cricket is 90% played in the head. So it is not the physicality of the player, definitely. It's the heart. What
how
comes
clever
with,
you are.
How clever you are. How much you want to win the game for the team. Definitely, that doesn't come only when you don't have the skills. The right skill sets to play the game. So you find a player who is small, skillful, and very mentally strong. That is a plus for any coach, and most especially in cricket. It's not size. It's not size. It's a heart. It's the ability of someone in terms of their skill, their thought process, and how much they want to help the team.
Okay, if you are appointed the head coach of the club, not the intern but the head coach, let's say on a 3-year basis, would Ugandans hope of a World Cup glory? Would you, would we as Ugandans sit here and say Jackson Ogwang is going to deliver the World Cup trophy to Uganda? Is that possible? Do you have that feeling or belief in you and the boys?
That belief will always be there. It will never go. And delivering the World Cup,
it's a tough call.
What do you think you're making me promise something that? But definitely, I would work with the boys. We have so many talented boys in this country, and yes, we would not want to be here and keep putting ourselves at this level. Maybe at the associate, as an associate nation, we will never want to be an associate forever. We definitely want to be a ODI team, or maybe one day become a full member of the ICC. And that is why even if I'm coaching a 12-year-old right now, whatever I sell to them is, you are not going to get into the national team, find a national team at the associate level, and by the time you leave after your 10 years your career is done with the national team. We are still at the same level.
Yeah.
Definitely, as Uganda cricket, we want to go to the next level. We want to play ODI cricket. We want to play at the World Cup.
True.
If you play at the World Cup,
yes,
that is where the dream of maybe one day getting the trophy home comes in. And nothing is
first
impossible.
qualify for the World Cup.
Nothing is impossible.
I know.
It is a step-by-step thing whereby we first move to we get ODI status. It gives us a chance to play teams that are ahead of us, exposes these players. When you get to the World Cup, you'll find our players getting opportunities to play. For example, in the IPL, they're playing in the CPL, they're playing in all those different elite leagues in the world.
Okay.
And when you get the exposure, the players become more skillful, and their dream changes from being an associate to being an ODI nation, to being a full member nation.
Okay.
So we don't want to be where we are forever. And for example, like you said, if I become the head coach, my target is to move the team to the ODI, to get the ODI status, and that is where it starts from. Yeah.
Okay, still with you, Coach. If you want to achieve that, there must be systems and structures. For example, I was watching a basketball game that is 7-8 years ago at UCU. I saw a boy called Stephen Iwondi who had just come in as a first-year student, and I told Nick that this boy might replace Sudi Ulanga. Sudi Ulanga was the best point guard at a time, but I saw the skills of Stephen Iwondi and I was so impressed. Now, as a coach, as a cricket coach, you look at the structure and know that when the Bryans leave, I have this 9-year-old Ruben who we are preparing to take over from the Bryans. Do you have such a structure in cricket?
Yeah, we definitely do. We have our under-19 team just played in the World Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have a strong under-17 team. I personally have worked with many of these boys who are coming up from the schools,
yes,
to the under-15 and the under-17 and under-19. So it's something that the Uganda Cricket Association has put together.
Okay.
We just have to keep making it stronger and making follow-ups. Like for right now, we have hubs in the western part, northern part, and eastern parts of the country, and we have permanent coaches in those hubs. And in the next 2 years, we will have players coming from Gulu. You'll see the way you're seeing the ladies, the ladies team has many players from Soroti. You'll see players coming from Kasese because of the structures that have been put up by the association.
Wow, that's a good one. Brian, with you, back to you finally as we make your final remarks. Do you have a family member who loves what you do, who would love to replace you on the national team?
Unfortunately, my siblings didn't take up cricket, but my family is a sporting family. My father played football, my sister plays volleyball.
At what level?
Mbale Heroes club level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you know, there's a sporting legacy in the family, and they've been my biggest support structure. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not easy to be a sportsman in Uganda. You've been in the industry for long, so you understand.
Yes.
So you know, when you have a family that supports you, it makes it just a little bit easier. And you know, I'm grateful for that support. It keeps you going even on the hard days. And you know, so for me, as a player that has been in the setup for quite a while, it's important for me to give back to the game as well. Okay. You know, because I have guys that gave me, so it's important for me to give back. And you know, I try to mentor as many young players as possible. Coach mentioned something small about our development program. And you know, it's important for us as players in the current setup to mentor the guys that will take over from us. Okay. So that, you know, 10, 15 years down the road, we can sit somewhere and say, I had a part in, you know, bringing that guy up, and I'm proud of what he's doing for the country now. Okay, that's very good. And Coach, last with you, your parting remarks as we wind up. I want you to actually assure Ugandans that as we head to Namibia, we're going to come back with victory. As you wind up, your parting remarks.
Yeah, we've worked hard. Worked hard. We have selected the 15 that are going out there to represent 48 million Ugandans, and all I can say is the boys are ready. They've always been. They wear the yellow jersey with a lot of pride, and they will definitely go out there and fight for this nation.
Okay. Thanks so much, Coach Brian, for actually finding time to come here, talking to Ugandans. And of course, Brian, what would you tell the young cricketer, 9 years, 10 years? What would be your parting remarks to talk about that boy and let him get inspired?
I'll say, you know, just put in the hard work, keep working hard. You know, my personal philosophy is you just never know. You know, you just never know where you'll end up. Sport has the ability to change lives, to transform lives. It has the ability to open so many doors for you, not just on the field, but also off it. The people you meet, you never know, later in life they might help you. So, you know, just put in the hard work, stay disciplined, and you know, you'll get somewhere.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach Jackson, and of course Captain Brand for coming in. Hopefully that we shall also have you after Namibia. Don't run away when you lose.
This is our country. This is our country.
you run away after losing with a bigger margin. But of course, I will ask Grace to get you here, and of course we discuss after Namibia. And my interest is also the young cricketers. I hope, Coach, you get one in studio here one day, to see what he thinks, what he thinks of the game, about the young ones and what. So we'll talk about that on some other date. But of course, you mentioned about sports can take you anywhere. Sia Qualifiers is somebody I've followed for the last so many years, and if it wasn't rugby, he would never have been the person he is today. So maybe Brian, one day you'll be a Sia Qualifiers. Okay, thanks so much for being part of the show. Of course, we have had Coach Brian Ogwang, the interim coach of the cricket cranes, and the captain Brian Masaba, whose father played for Mbale Heroes. I wonder which years he played for Mbale Heroes. When Sam Sima was still there?
Late 80s.
Late 80s, okay. So it's been a pleasure to have hosting the two gentlemen, and of course we've got to pave way for GMU Extra. We pray for the cricket cranes that when they travel to Namibia, they come back home with results. And the two gentlemen have said, the captain and the coach, that they are ready, the team is ready. They want to gain the ODI status, and we believe that we can, together we can. National Council of Sports support the cricket team, the Cricket Federation. Let's all join hands. Government, come up. Let's support them. We need to get the ODI status. I know Mama Janet is watching, the Minister of Education and Sports, and of course the CIC. Cricket is also like athletics, like a football. Athletics is like a football. Let's support. Let's have that ODI status. We can achieve that if we support the cricket cranes, our national team. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve. Like whenever I host the Dominic Otchet, the Athletics Federation president, he says that he's been supported. That's why you have the medals here. Football, we've been supported. That's why we perform the way we perform as Uganda cranes. So even the cricket cranes, we must support them for them to achieve whatever they must achieve as a national team. So we'll get them here after they go to Namibia. We shall have them in the studio to tell us the journey to Namibia, and they must come back here with something. Promise, coach and captain, that you come back here with something. Okay, have yourself a lovely day, and bye for now.